Hi, I'm Linda for Spellbinders Paper Arts with this week's Savvy Saturday video tutorial. The theme for this week is fall. For today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a layered card. I've used the Fancy Labels 8. Just for the record, when Spellbinders give you sizes of their dies, they count from the inside out. So we have the smallest is size 1, right through to the largest size 6, which I'm using for my base of the Labels 8. So I've used size 2, 3 and 4 of the Fancy Labels 8. I've also used one of the oval tags from the Back to Basics, the oval insert. And just to note, with my base I have cut it just inside the die to make a card base. Using the dies as a mask, I've sponged around the edges of each die. I've used a lighter colour first and I'm just going in around the very edge with a darker colour to make it stand out more around the frame. So we do the 3 layers, just pop it out so you can see. And you can see that it's defining it a little bit more around the edges and it gives us that lovely layer around the edge. I've done each of my frames. And then I'm going to sand just to give us a little bit of dimension. It almost makes it look like another layer. On the larger one you'll see it more clearly around the edges. I've used the Score Power 1/2 inch tape on the back and we're going to line up the Fancy Labels 8 onto our base. It's pretty easy to line up, you can see by the shape. Popping it on. I've used double-sided tape, not foam tape. The next layer, I've used some foam tape. I just use my scissors to get it off, it's easiest. I'm popping these slightly up to the top because we're going to have a bow down the bottom of the card. So layering it, and the last one. As you can see, the layering with foam gives you that extra dimension, and we have the sponging, just sanding, layering, and if you're anything like me, as you create your card, you often go in a different direction. So I decided, while you weren't looking, that a piece of ribbon would look nice underneath, so I popped up the second layer and popped it under the first layer just to give us a little bit more shimmer. I'm using one of the Flourishes images, A Year of Flowers. I've coloured it with my pencils, popping it up on foam tape in the fall colours, fussy cutting around it, and now I'm going to add my bow, just using a bit of this Score Power 1/2 inch tape. It's very strong. I'll pop it on the back, choose the nicest side of the bow. Doubling it over just to give it that oomph. A little bit to the left to allow for the sentiment. I'm going to add a button to my card, but before I do I wanted to show you a little trick I've learned, that if you want to use the same colour thread as your card base, I just trim a tiny bit off the paper, pop it through and then tape it down at the back, and that way you'll always have your faux thread matching your card. I have one finished here. We're just popping it on. It saves you looking for those matching cottons. It sticks so well with the double Score Power tape, and I've stamped a sentiment from the Tiny Wishes set from Penny Black and just going to pop it under, mounted with foam tape. Now the final touch is the Wanna Scrap Bling. The Swirls Finesse is one of my favourites, lifting up the bow, just positioning. It's personal taste, the popping on the bling, finishing it off, and there you go. A very quick and easy card. Thank you for watching today, and I hope you're inspired to look at the fall colours around you if you're in the Northern Hemisphere and make something beautiful.